Hello, guys!
Hello, guys.
So, today's video is a bit different, as you can see for the title. I wanted to bring subjects that are more like talk, between me, you, and us, and comments. Because I feel like there are some subjects that people don't really talk about, and we don't really see anyone who feels the same way. And maybe this can help someone. I don't know.
Maybe someone feels the same way as we do. That's what we are looking for.
Yeah, because it's like really strange thing, especially with all the people that are having babies right now on YouTube. Because I mean, they're 20-year-olds or something. They started YouTube when it was like in its early stages, and now they're adults and they having kids. And I mean, I think that it's the right time to speak about the people that don't. When it's not like I'm trying to make people not having kids or something.
Yeah, we're
like
not
that.
trying anyone.
It's not a propaganda.
We're not trying to make anyone change their ideas.
It's like an article, in a magazine, like, oh, why do I feel this way? Or I don't know. Maybe someone who feels the same.
Yeah.
So first, I never felt like I really wanted to have kids. I played with dolls, obviously, because I mean that's what they do with girls. They just give them dolls and dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sexism.
Yeah, but
let's impregnate sexism on this little girl's head.
Yeah, but it's not like I've ever felt like that was my favorite thing. I always played the dad when it was with kids. I don't know why. I'm not. Wait, you have something in your head. It's not like I want to be a boy or something like that. It's not at all that.
I think we are running away from the question.
Yeah,
a little
but
bit.
It's just that I've never really wanted to be
the
mom or to be pregnant. It was never like, oh, look at me, I have a belly. I don't know. It's just never felt.
Before we move on, I want to say,
okay.
when we played like that in the kindergarten, not us because we weren't together, but when I played that kind of game in the kindergarten, the family game, I was always a pet. I was either a dog or a parrot. Yeah, I was a parrot. What was I supposed to do? Beep, beep.
I also was a dog sometimes. It was weird. Like, why would we do that?
Tweet, tweet. Woof woof. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was never. Sometimes they would put me as the uncle or something like that. Or as the grandfather. I was like, I don't want to be old. But most of the time, I was a pet.
Okay, that's some interesting facts. So, I've never felt like I wanted to go for pregnancy. I mean, I was young, so what would I know? But it was never like something that would fascinate me. When it was like little kids, I never really enjoyed like being with them. I was just like, but they don't do anything. They're just like sitting there.
Oh, you mean later in your life, like when you were on your teenage years, you saw the little kids and you.
Yeah, I mean,
and as a child as well.
When I was like maybe 12, 13, I had little cousins. So they were just born, and I went to visit them, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's just.
I just hold them awkwardly. I'm like, but they're just like rag dolls or something.
I'm trying to interpret you, and I'm seeing like a little version of you with your hair dyed as well, and you are just
I
like.
didn't have my hair.
I know, but that's my picture. And you like, they look like pickles. They do nothing.
I mean, I have nothing against kids. It's just I never felt like some kids do, that they feel the need to take care. It's like, oh, it's my little cousin, and I just never felt that. I mean, I was just like, you don't do anything.
You never felt
what am I supposed to do with you? Like,
you never felt that mother instinct towards little kids. Like.
Yeah, and when I first started to feel this way, it was very weird because I didn't think that was a thing. Like, you just have kids and that's it. I never thought about the other
possibility of not having kids.
Yeah. And when I started to think about it, I was like, okay, maybe I just need to be with kids, and maybe I'll just like feel
some
like
empathy,
yeah,
some kind of
like I would want that. And I went to work in a kindergarten, and it was
from what I heard from your friends,
it was a
she had long nails. She was taking care of kids with long nails. Like, stop!
no, it wasn't on purpose.
Do not misbehave.
I just happened to have long nails, and I went to work there, and
Yeah.
they broke all of my nails in just 2 weeks.
Yeah, because they were misbehaving, so you were like scratching them,
obviously
piercing their eyes.
And I know some people be like, oh, but it's different when you have your own kids. It will be different, but
the question is, we don't want.
Yeah, the thing is, that's the that's the thing, is that people will try to give you these arguments like, oh,
Even
but
family,
it'll be different when it'll be your own, and but who will take care of you when you'll be old? Like, so you're just having kids so you can have a carer? I mean, sometimes just people come up with these things, and I'm thinking, oh, I feel so sorry for your kids, because you must be a terrible father. Because if the best argument that they can give is like, who will take care of you when you're old? Like,
so you're just having a kid so that they can take care of you? That's very selfish.
Yeah, and trust me, you cannot guarantee that they will.
Yeah.
I love my parents, but I don't want to be a carer for them. I'll just pay for someone to be that.
As a matter of fact, most kids are never the way their parents intend them to be.
So yeah, that's also the thing.
That
it's
argument
like
is stupid.
Some people, they have kids and they put these expectations on them. And it's like, this is the path I want you to take. I think that people just have this idea that, I mean, that's what you do. Some people don't even question it. They just like, what? You don't want to have kids? Like, that's really weird.
And that's not just for girls. They do that for girls, like, oh, what, you gotta give us kids. But they also do that to men, like, oh, you're not bringing us a kid.
Yeah, and some people have talked to us, like older people, and they have said to me that he would leave me because if I do not want to give him kids,
I would find
some
someone
other
else.
woman would do that if I don't want to what is my job.
And my mother and my stepfather. So my mother had kids from a different man, and now she's with my stepfather for plenty of years. But one of the arguments was like, oh, my mom was worried. She's quite old, but she still wanted to give him a kid of his own, like a biological kid. I don't know why. Maybe she was afraid he would leave her. Maybe it's some kind of social needs.
Yeah, it's like people already have this
mindset,
idea built into their head that you will want to have kids, and
her
you have to have kids.
Her argument when she spoke with me was like, oh, I need to give him a kid of his own. Like, why?
Yeah, and also some people, they wouldn't adopt and stuff like that. I would much rather adopt a kid than having my own.
She's very scared of pregnancy.
I really fear pregnancy. So it's not like I'm saying that for certain I will never have a kid in my life. I can change my mind, and people really like to tell me that I'll change my mind. That
like
I'm
the
too
doctors,
young.
the doctors who do not want to operate women because they say that
cutting the kids. Yeah.
But if it's a man and he says, "Oh, I don't want to have kids," yeah, they'll just cut their not the balls, but they'll either cut or tie so they can be undone. But with women, it's like, "Oh no, we're not going to do that. I refuse."
Yeah. Then I also have an example of my godmother. I'm not baptized, but it's like a godmother to me, because she's around the same age as my mother. So I've always had her around, and she doesn't have kids. And I just asked her, I asked when I was younger, like, oh, so why don't you have? And she said she never felt like she wanted to have kids. It was just not something that she wanted. And she really disappointed her family. And I feared that I'll make other people disappointed for my family. But I mean, they just have to get that away.
I don't. I've already disappointed them.
No, I mean, I mean, when I was younger, I felt like I would I'll
Yeah.
disappoint him.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just what they expect from you. You know, your parents want to have grandkids, and um, yeah, her mother was kind of disappointed. I think she still is because it was her only child, so she doesn't have any grandkids. And also, her husband, my godmother husband, also is an only child, so his parents as well were a bit disappointed on that. And I think that in some way they hold some grudges against her because she was the one who never wanted to have kids. He would be um,
Willing.
willing
Yeah.
to have kids. He kind of wanted it, but it was not, I think, a deal breaker for him because they're together. So I don't think it was something very important, but it's really something that you should talk to your partner. I remember talking to him before we start dating because I wanted to be sure I wasn't getting myself into something that it would just have a end date, like expiration date.
Yeah.
Uh, because why would we
Start a
go
relationship
further
and
on this relationship if we know we do not want to follow?
we
And
would
of
not want the
course,
same
I
thing.
was young, I was 15, and I could change my mind, but it's just best to, I mean, just talk to them. I say, well, okay, maybe I think I don't want to have kids. I can change my mind later, but if I don't, you just already know what it is.
Yeah. Another thing, now I'll go on my part why I don't want kids, and I think the biggest reason is that I don't want to bring a kid to this world because, at least in the position that I am right now, the world sucks. Why would I bring a kid? Well, first of all, when we bring a kid, we stop existing. It's like we still do exist. It's not a very good argument, but uh, the
They
focus,
become the most important thing.
yeah, they become the most important thing in your life.
And
The
that's what
focus
it
will
should be
all goes with
because some
child.
people don't really do that thing.
Yeah, it should be that way.
It should be that way.
I don't want a kid because I don't want it to be
If
that
you're
way.
not willing to give 110%, you shouldn't really have kids. I've seen so many people that just have kids for the sake of having kids, and then the kids are just
Around,
yeah,
they're
it's
playing
like
alone.
they just leave them. You know, I had friends
They
that
are
would,
negligent parents.
yeah,
Some of
I would
them.
have friends that, okay, they weren't bad parents, they didn't beat them or something like that, but they'll just leave them to be too free. You know, it'll be nighttime and they'll be out
Yeah.
alone
Yeah.
doing whatever. You
So
know,
some of them didn't have any present parents, so the parents would even try to compensate them with things that the other kids didn't have.
yeah, with money and toys and
Phones.
electronics and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
The thing that I want people to start questioning is, why do you want to have kids and not why don't you want to have kids? I mean, think about it. If it's
Yep.
just to have a little tiny copy of yourself, like you want to
that's a
them to be like
psychological
you.
argument. Yeah.
Yeah, some people just have kids to dress them up and to just make them do whatever, you know, like playing Sims, but
It's kind of
your kid.
futile. Yeah.
Yeah, and others, they just want to have someone
It's
to
a
take
real
care of
being
them.
with feelings and
Yeah, they just want to have someone around them, like a friend, like a pet. I mean,
so many kids grow with difficult problems and traumas and mental diseases because of those parenting years.
and some others that I've also seen with friends of mine, the parents didn't have the chance to do this or that, and they have kids and they want them to do those things. Like they put them in sports that they liked. You can see that in sex education. The guy that is in swim class, you know,
Yeah.
he was in swim class because his parents want him to, because she liked swimming, so she wanted him to do that, but they just
To
start
live
to
their
put
dreams.
a lot of pressure. Yeah, that happens a lot. You can see also in
We could make a video about parenting problems. We're not even parents.
also in a Spanish TV show from Netflix, Elite, is in Spanish. And there's also a guy that plays tennis, and he plays tennis because their parents want him to, because they like tennis and they want
Yeah.
him to be an athlete, but he didn't want that, you know. And some parents do that. You think, oh, they really want his kids to do so many things, but no, they're just pressuring you into following a path that you do not want to take.
Same when the parents want the kids to become doctors, for example.
Yeah, they say, oh, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be a doctor. Like, those are the most basic things. And
yeah,
just let your kid be themselves. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't have kids. I think that half of the people that have kids shouldn't have kids anyways. It's not good for the planet anyway. So just really think about it. If you want kids, why do you want them? If it's just for the not greatest reasons, then don't have them.
Is it really worth
just
it?
Get a pet.
Is it really worth it to bring another being to this world when you know that you're not in condition to give them 110%? I am not. Yeah. I don't want that.
Yeah, my parents had me, and they weren't in the greatest financial position, and they really didn't have the time because they worked so much and they didn't have money. But my mom was getting old; she was 38, so she had me, and I think like maybe if people just didn't felt like they needed to have kids, maybe she wouldn't, because she didn't have she wasn't in the greatest position to have me. So I think that people should delay it to be in the better position, even if they're older. That's okay, and maybe think about it more if you really want to go that path.
It's a bit long.
What? Yeah, so we'll stop like right now because this is getting too wild. And I hope you'll enjoy this video. This video was supposed to be 10 minutes long, but
if you want a part 2, please let us know. We can share our own experiences. We can tell about ourselves, about our parents.
Yeah, and we'll be making more videos talking about these things that we have inside us. Yeah, our beliefs, and share with others. And maybe if other people feel this way, they will feel connected to us, because I know I didn't have anyone to feel connected to except for my godmother, and we really didn't talk about that. So I hope this helps someone. Yeah. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.